Hello again, everyone. Saka here, and welcome back to the final episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season, the 22 season in the Full Circle Racing Designs Next Gen 22 mod. And we are going for the championship in our X4 Tides of Avarice Camaro. Brandon on the outside pole in that 27 A-Shock Toyota. And just to our right side, Chase Elliott. And a few rows back, William Byron. We are the final four. Whoever finishes ahead between us four wins the title. Waiting for Denny Hamlin to pick up the green flag, and green flag is out for 32 laps here at Phoenix Raceway. Down to the dogleg. We can use all of this to get the straight shot. See if we can get under Denny Hamlin here going into turn one. Brandon fighting back on that high side. Car washing out, having to catch it. Martin Truex Jr. fighting on the low side. Sticks a nose in. Brandon trying door to door with Hamlin to complete that pass on the outside. Harvick looking low as well, below Truex. Brandon and I rolling that outside of 3 and 4. Trying to get that run down the dog leg. Hamlin down there. We'll see if Hamlin chokes up a bit, but Hamlin uses all the racetrack, and Truex rolls out quite a bit. So it is just us three out front. A little loose on entry. Trying to get that car slowed down. The rear end steps out. Brandon leads the way, but the yellow flag is out. We'll be taking the caution this time. It looks to be in third, and we'll see what brought out this caution. Maybe Chase or William were involved. Lap 2, Brad Keselowski looking to the inside of Kyle Larson, moves up into Bubba Wallace, and over Keselowski goes, clogging up the track, and you can see the log jam there. Keselowski down into Kyle Busch as he flipped, and that locked everything up. McDowell goes for a slide. The 42 of Ty Dillon gets involved, as well as the 31 of Justin Haley, and Brad Keselowski looks like he will not be able to continue. So lap 3, we are within a fuel window. We only needed to go a few laps to be in our fuel window, and we have that set, so everyone should be down on pit road, although I don't believe we are going to take tires. We have to be extremely careful getting into our pit stall as we are around the corner, and I don't want NASCAR to call us for speeding. Having to come all the way from the back of the pack now would be rough indeed. There is the stricken car of Brad Keselowski, and William Byron is following us in. So championship as it stands, Brandon and myself, William Byron and Chase Elliott. We'll see how we get off of pit road here. Here's our sign. We're just grabbing fuel. Fuel going in, waiting for the sign, and there we go. Brandon down and away as well with fuel only, and we will be lining up in second. Coming to lap 6, Brandon leads the way, and we are ahead of Denny Hamlin, and it looks like Chase Elliott might have passed William Byron on that exchange of pit stops. Brandon down and away. Here we go. Hamlin looking to the inside, and already it is a log jam as everyone heads to the dog leg. 4 and 5 wide easily. Oh, and Hamlin really throws it in there. We'll give him the line, no worries. Still a long way to go. As Kevin Harvick follows Denny Hamlin through, we'll fight back on that outside. See if we can get the run into turn 3 here. It's extremely loose up top. We have to really take the car gingerly through there. And Austin Dillon forcing Eric Almirola down there in the dog leg behind us. We will slot into 4th place. A little bit better turn 1 here, really rolling that center, trying to hook that bottom and get clean. Don't get back to the gas too quickly, otherwise you'll get out to the wall, and that is no good for anyone. Ideally right down to the inside here in turn 3 where the car is most stable, and we'll wash out to the wall. Lay the power down and settle in. Hopefully these AI cars will start losing their tires a bit. I'm trying to take care of our tire wear for sure, as we did not take tires on that pit stop. So it will be a long green flag run if nothing else happens. We want to sort of be the best on tires as this run goes on. Hamlin really fighting for that lead, but that is not for the championship. Brandon on that outside. Hamlin goes to the dog leg once more. And it looks like that's where Hamlin wants to run. He's not really making up any time there on the dog leg, just sort of getting out of everyone's way. Looking in the mirror, we have no pressure from Austin Dillon anymore, so a 4-car breakaway, and it looks like perhaps Kyle Larson is out there. that could be another car that was involved in that incident with Brad Keselowski's flip. We'll have to see if we catch that lap car and what kind of hazard that will pose. But so far, the top 4 running nearly identical lap times. It looks like we're hanging on and really not extending the lead out from Austin Dillon either. So everyone pretty much equalizing. 32 laps is a long way here, even though it's, 40 miles, it still feels like forever. But the championship right there in front of us. Brandon with a good launch off of turn 4 down into turn number 1. And we'll just make sure not to lock up our tires, hook that bottom, see if we gain anything on corner entry. See if we can gain anything on corner exit. Brandon perhaps a little loose coming off of 2 and not getting out to the wall. Scraping into turn 3, really arcing that down. I think Brandon lost a little bit of time there, so we are still within shouting distance of everyone. Still single file, even though Hamlin and Harvick are still running that interesting line. Perhaps maybe abusing their tires as they come back on the racetrack and really have to cut the wheel to get it turned into turn 1. That may bode well in our favor, as we really don't have to turn the wheel through the dogleg at all. The weight of the car just sort of eases it left, right through the dogleg. Really doesn't need much turning input at all. And Harvick comes back up to the track, and I think we might be a lap or 2 away from pressing the attack on Kevin Harvick. We don't want Brandon to get too small in the windshield. Looking in the mirror though, really no pressure from behind. And looking to see if we're catching that lap car. I don't see him anymore. Looking through, there he is. So through turn 1 he'll be going. So I don't know if we'll actually catch him by the end of this race if this stays green, although a yellow, of course, is going to throw a wrench into everything, get everyone, nose to tail once more. Really good corner exit. I'm feeling pretty good on turn 2, but Harvick just a little bit better on corner exit. We'll see if we gain anything on corner entry here. Launching out to the wall, trying to get back to the gas as smoothly and as straight as possible. And we are right there on Harvick. I think turn 1 is where we can do the most here. Keep that right front in the air, cut it down to the inside, see if we can get any drive off, but they're really strong from the middle off. So we have a good entry, but not so much an exit, and that hurts our straightaway speed the entire way through. Laps continue to click by though, looking very similar. Brandon hasn't stepped it out just yet. I don't know if he is saving anything. But as long as we can make the pass on Harvick and Hamlin without too much trouble, we may be able to move forward if Brandon is abusing his tires at all. That will become evident over this long run, that is for sure. Just keeping the car under us, good rotation. The car really wants to pivot left, so these turns are not much turn at all, actually. Driving to the outside, we're on the outside of Harvick. Trying to get that drive off. Harvick still looking, and we'll complete that pass, get out to the wall. And we'll see if Harvick puts that pressure into turn 3, or will he concede that spot. Driving in, we wash off the bottom a little bit. Let's carry as much speed as we can. We might have lost a little bit. We'll see if we can gain on Hamlin into turn 1 here. Really drive it into 1, make up a good amount of time. We just cannot afford to lose it on corner exit. And that lap car still holding station, really not gaining on that lap car either. So of the cars around me, I think I'm a little bit faster. I should be able to get around Hamlin no problem here. And then we'll set sights on Brandon and see what's up. Driving into turn 1. Oh, it snapped. Okay, keep it off the wall. Okay, we were pancaked pretty bad, but we're not losing a ton of spots. Let's get down in front of Christopher Bell. Get back up to speed. We didn't lose that many spots. Yellow flag is out, and oh, there was a spin in front of us, and it looks like Brandon might have spun just a corner ahead of us here. So yellow flag is out. We'll be lining up about midfield, and we are definitely going to need tires. Let's take a look at those spins. Lap 19, we go in the corner, and we just are too high. That right rear can't quite hang on. Not a whole lot of damage thanks to these bodies. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I don't even really see a scratch on the side. And while we had trouble on entry, Brandon had trouble on exit. Four-wheel Tokyo into the inside wall. His nose is punched just a little bit, but luckily the other cars stayed to that outside, and he's able to get it going, grab a gear, and get back up to speed. And thankfully the yellow flag came out fairly quickly, so let's bolt some tires on and see what happens. So lap 20, pit road is a very lonely place. All of these guys think that they can make it the rest of the way. However, we need tires, and there may be enough difference between 4 fresh tires and these old tires that the AI are keeping on. We might not be in a bad situation here. We'll see where we line up when everything is said and done. If we speed, no worries. I think we're going to be the tail end of the lead lap anyway, and that should be the longest line. So even if we speed, it's not detrimental because we're going to be on pit road for a bit. Let's get those tires on, boys. Let's go. Right sides are on. Punching out that body just a little bit. I'm sure Brandon is fixing his damage as well. So Brandon and I are going to be pretty even Steven here. There goes the 45. Looking in our mirror, we might be able to get out in front of, no, Bush and Timmy Hill go by. So Brandon gets out in front of Bush and Hill if they are not a lap down. So let's get them re-racked up and see where we are in the grand scheme of things. Coming to lap 24, we are in 23rd, so we have 8 laps to make up this time here. Right behind Timmy Hill, who has some damage. In front of him is Kyle Busch, who's missing a rear clip. Brandon in front of them. Our only goal is to pass the 24 and the 9, which are right there, going through the dog leg right now. So we only have, in the grand scheme of things, about 10 cars to pass in 8 laps, and we are going to be on tires. So let's get these tires warmed up. They're 3 wide in front of us. That's going to help choke up that bottom with William Byron there. Brandon on the outside of the 48, really pushing hard into the wall, and we are practically on the rear bumper of William Byron, and Chase Elliott just a few cars in front of him on that outside groove, trapped behind the 7. Really massive drive on that outside. Everyone on the dog leg to the bottom will make those passes quick, fast, and in a hurry. So Chase Elliott right in front of us. We've already passed William Byron, so the championship is just 3 cars in front of me. And if Brandon gets around Chase, we'll follow him through. So while it would be nice to get the race win, let's not lose sight of the big picture. Oh, and Brandon gets chopped up by the 2. We'll follow him through on the outside. Austin Cindric down there on the bottom will make short work. And now Chase Elliott right in front of Brandon on the bottom, using that apron, rolling to the outside. Brandon is now the championship leader. We don't want to let Chase get up in front of us here. Get that momentum on the outside, scrape the wall. We're now in 2nd, nope, 3rd. Chase fights back on that inside, and we're going to roll the top here, put Chase back there. So the championship is now right in front of us. The race might be over, but the championship certainly is not. We'll roll the outside of the 7. Brandon making short work of those guys sticking to the inside. He'll try the crossover under Daniel Suarez, looking to the inside of the 14 of Briscoe as well, but Brandon thinks better of it, keeps in line. No pressure out of the mirror, so we can continue moving forward. Oh, Brandon, oh, into Suarez. Suarez into Brandon. We get it gathered back up. Okay, we lost a little bit of time. Chase fighting back. Yeah, I need to get through these guys quick, fast, and in a hurry. Oh, Brandon into the 14 with a wiggle and a bobble. He comes back to us. The championship is now right in front of us again once more as he fights back on the outside of Daniel Suarez. And the race still ain't over. We're making time, even though we're all over the place, bouncing off the walls. These 4 tires really making it work. Driving to that outside, really getting the hammer down, and it looks like the 14 and 20 are next up. Brandon rolls that top. If he can keep them pinched down on the bottom, we'll carry that momentum to the outside and get a twofer in turn 1 and 2. Bell slows up just a little bit. and we will take advantage, get down to the bottom once more. Nope, Bell wants to fill that hole. I am not taking any risk. If Bell really drove in hard, that was going to be the end of us and the end of our season. Let's not do anything crazy. Into turn one, really catching those 4 cars in front. These cars for position are, oh no! So cars are going to come to pit road. We are going to stay out, of course. Brandon has to choke up. This may be our opportunity to get around it as we drive hard into turn 3. We'll complete that pass, get out to the wall, and we will be leading this championship. Out to the wall, looking in the mirror. Brandon taking the dog leg. We're carrying that speed on that outside. Brandon's got a fender. We'll roll the outside, drive in deep as hard as we can. Really stay side by side, get down to the door. Brandon clears just barely off the corner. Brandon back out front. We'll press the attack going into turn 3. Brandon keeps the bottom covered. And if he slips up, this is where we're going to make the charge. White flag is out, 1 to go. Off the wall, giving it everything we got here. Denny Hamlin coming off of pit road. This may pee on the wheels of progress here. Really driving it into turn 1. Hamlin keeping it on the bottom. Hopefully he keeps it on the bottom. No, but Hamlin goes to the racing line. We're going to drive in hard. So Brandon getting blocked. Hamlin moves down to block him. We'll try to roll the bottom. Does Brandon come off that yellow line right to the bottom? Checker flag is out, and Brandon will take the win and the championship by a 1/10 of a second. So off of 2, I don't know if we were alone what would have happened, but there goes Denny blocking, and Denny actually moves down to block Brandon. We're right on that yellow line, and Brandon does move up, gets to the gas early, and we just hook it and hope it sticked, and it stuck, but not with enough speed to really matter. And Chase Elliott ended up pitting, comes across the finish line in 23rd. And William Byron finishes 27th. So the Hendrick guys with some questionable pit strategy. So the race was always going to be between myself and Brandon if we were on that one-stop strategy. So laying down the rubber for a successful season. If you caught every race, thank you so much for tuning in week after week. Let's take a look at the final standings. And for those of you who are wondering, what would have happened if the championship was not a playoff format? What if we win up straight points? You'll see that too. So Brandon wins the championship, 5 points over us, 27 over Chase Elliott, and William Byron 31. And if you're wondering if Brandon would have won the championship without the reset, most certainly. He would have actually clinched the title a few weeks ago. He wouldn't have even needed to start these races. But another fun season in the books. Hope you'll be around next year when we do it all over again for our 7th year. Brandon and myself tied 3 championships apiece. So next year is the tiebreaker, hopefully. But that will do it for me in this season of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in Daytona. Take care.